Hello friends, today in this live stream we will be building a Google Keep notes kind of a application. So basically inside Google Keep, this is the official website of Google Keep. Basically it's a CRUD kind of a application where you can keep any sort of notes here. So this is the name of this website, Google Keep. It's a product of Google, so you can just see in the Wikipedia, Google Keep is a note-taking service included as part of the free web-based Google Docs. So if you go to this website, keep.google.com, and basically you can create as many notes as possible like this. So this note will be created here. So we will be creating this simple application similar to this. We will be making a clone of it. So let me show you that application. So it's very easy. Let me open this with live server. So this is our note application here. You can see that, guys. You can submit as many notes as possible. You can see that. So as it's a CRUD application, 4 operations will be performed here. You can see all the notes here. And there is also an icon to edit this. You can see that I can change, edit this also and delete it also like this. So these icons are also available to delete these notes which is taken here. So if you refresh the page, it will be stayed because we are using local storage for this. So we are not using any sort of database, but we are using the concept of local storage to save these notes in the browser session. So also you can remove this using the pencil icon. You can also change the background color. So please hit the like button, subscribe the channel. You can also, in the modal window like this, you can change the content like this. So you can delete it, submit it, a new note. This is the awesome application. We will be building it inside this tutorial, guys. We will be using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and we will not be using any sort of third-party library for building this. It will be completely in HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. You can also see this pencil button. Just have a modal window will appear, and you will be able to edit this and also delete operations. You can see that. So for building this, guys, I have written a complete blog post on my tutorial website, which is Coding Shiksha. So here you can copy paste all the source code. Just go to the description of this live stream, and here we have given all the source code. So first of all, hit the like button, subscribe the channel as well. So let's start building this application. So here I will simply build it from scratch, write each line of code. So just make sure you put these windows side by side. So here, guys, I will create a new file which is keep.html. So basically here we will create a title which is Google Keep clone in HTML and CSS JavaScript. So here, guys, we also need to include the material icons that you see inside this pencil icon and delete icon. So for these icons, you need to include the CDN. So just after you paste the title, you need to include the CSS for this material icons. So after you include this, we will start writing the HTML which is required for this process to build this. So now inside this, the body, basically there will be a class of model, and inside this we will be having a class again of model content, and then input type will be text, and here you will simply say class is equal to model title, and basically after this, so the placeholder you need to give here, this input field, the placeholder is equal to title, and once again input type text, we will be giving the class of model text. So basically the placeholder will be take a note dot dot dot. So if you open with live server, you will now see there is two input fields out there, first for the title, second for the take a note. So this will be also be of type text. So then after this we will have a span tag. So inside this span tag we will have a close button. We will give it a class of model close button. So after this section, guys, we will have a new section, basically this main section, and we will now contain the logo of uh, Google Keep. So we will be giving a class header logo, and basically here this is the class which is source, and you can take any image, but we will be taking this image which is this one from the internet of Google Keep. So you can see this is the image. If I show you, image source, after this we will have a h2 heading, and here we will be saying keep, and the class is header title. Sorry, this needs to be class, not source. Now you will see the logo appearing here. You can see that on your screen. After this, guys, we will now have a div which will have the ID, which is form container. Inside this we will have another form which will have the ID form attached to it, and inside this basically we will have an attribute of autocomplete to off, and inside this, guys, we will have input type text, and we will be giving an ID to it which is note title. Placeholder we will simply give title. Again we will have note text. Now this will be type text. Placeholder we will simply say take a note. So that's it. These will contain two input fields. Then we will have two buttons, guys. First, this will be the two buttons. So we need to attach form buttons ID. So inside this, first will be for the edit button. So button type will be of submit. ID will be of submit button. So here we will have the submit button like this. Then the second button is for the close button. So if you want to close it, and this will also be of type submit, and ID will be form close button. So please hit the like button, subscribe the channel. So in this tutorial we are building Google Keep Notes application, clone application. So after, if it is over, guys, you will now have an ID of notes. So here all the notes will be displayed, and then also we will have an ID of placeholder. So inside this we will have the ID which will be equal to placeholder logo. Source will be equal to this icon. So basically this is a light bulb. After this, here you will say so 6 people are watching the stream, guys. Please hit the like button, subscribe the channel as well. Then we will have a simple paragraph. Here we will simply say ID will be given to it of a placeholder text. So here you will say notes you add appear here. So now like this. So this is completed, guys. This section is also completed. Now we move to the next section, which is tooltip. So basically, guys, let me paste it. So these will have 4 buttons out there. Each will have the class of color option, and these will be the data attributes which will be given here. So just add this also. Now that's is completed, guys. This is all the HTML which is required for building this Google Keep Notes kind of an application. So this is the end product that we are building, guys. You can see that you can add notes, you can delete notes, you can edit notes. So please hit the like button, subscribe the channel as well. This is Google Keep Clone. So now basically we need to style this application. We will just go to the style.css. So here we will include keep.css. So we will create a new file here, keep.css. So here we will simply say we will remove the margin and the padding. So margin is equal to 0, padding is also 0. Font family will be equal to Google Sans, sans serif. Box sizing will be equal to border box. So now you can see the font is also changed. The font from the border box is also there, box sizing. And here we will target HTML and body tag, and here we will first of all change the background color to white. Then we will change the color to 202124. Font size we will change to 15 pixel, and the margin we will remove it to 0. Minimum width we will give as 360 pixel. Overflow we will say X to hidden. Overflow Y we will simply say auto. Padding we will say 0. So this is, you can see that, guys. Now we will come to the main section, main tag. So here we will say margin is 0, auto. Max width is 900 pixel, like this. Then we will target the placeholder, guys, inside. It is present inside the input field. So here we will simply say margin top is equal to 10 VH. Important. Display is equal to flex. Align the items in the center position. You can see that. And flex direction is column. So now it is appearing in the center position. So now, guys, we will target the logo, which is placeholder logo. So for this we will change the height of the logo to 120 pixel, margin we will change it to 20 pixel, opacity we will say to 0.1, width we will change it to 120 pixel. So now you will see the logo is also styled here. You can see that. So after this, guys, we will now style the text, placeholder text. So placeholder text. So here we'll change the color of this text to 80868B. This is a color, grayish color. Cursor we will change it to default. Font size we will change it to 1.375 rem. 375. Font weight we will change it to 400. Line height we will change it to 1.75 rem. So you can see slightly the color is changed and the font size is also changed of the placeholder. Now we will target the form container ID. So here we will give a border radius around it of 8 pixels, to make it round. We will give it a border of 0.5 pixels solid, and this is a color D3, and we will now give it a box shadow also, just to have a simple box shadow effect. 2 pixels, 0 RGBA, 60, 64, 67, 0.302, comma 0, 2 pixel, 6 pixel, 2 pixel RGBA, 60, 64, 67, 0.30, 149. So now, guys, you will now see a nice little box shadow effect is also added here. This is a box shadow effect that you see here. So this is giving it the feel of material design of Google. So after this, guys, we also need to give it a max width of sorry, first of all we will give margin of 32 pixel auto, 16 pixel auto. So now you can see max width, we will give it a max width as well of 496 pixel. Transition we will say is transition duration, which will be of 0.218 second. Transition property we will give as background, border, opacity, box shadow. All these properties we will change and transform. And basically the transition timing function you will say is equal to easin. So after this, guys, now we will target the actual form. So inside the form, guys, first of all we will place the position as relative. After this we will remove the border of the form to none. So border is removed, margin is 1 pixel, border radius is 8 pixel, transition duration 0.218 second. Again we will give the same properties to this also, transition property and transition timing. So paste it here. After this, guys, basically now we will style this class, which is form open. So basically we need to assign a class to it of 0 box shadow 0 3 pixel 5 pixel RGBA 0 comma 0 comma 0 comma 0.2. Sorry, this needs to be 0.2. So now we will target the header tag, guys. So 9 people are watching the stream. First of all, hit the like button, subscribe the channel, align items to center, justify content to center, margin top to 2 em. So now, guys, you can see the header section is now appearing in the center position alongside with the logo. So now we will target the header logo class. So here, guys, we will make the height as 4 em, and the header title we will style it now. We will change the color to this color, which is 5F6368. So now you can see the color is changed. We also need to change the font size to 2 rem. Padding to the top we need to change 4 pixel. Padding to the left we need to change it to 4 pixel. So now you can see that. After this, guys, we will now target the space where all the nodes will be displayed. We need to change it to flex. So flex wrap we need to change it to wrap, and justify content we need to change to center. So now we will target the field no text. We will calculate the width using calculate method 100% minus 10 pixel. So now you can see it is appearing on separate lines. We will say minimum height will be equal to 43 pixel. Margin will be 0.5 pixel. Also we need to give it padding 10 pixel, 10 pixel. Font size we need to increase it to 1 rem. So now you can see it will have some padding, and also the font size will increase. Font weight also will increase to 500. Line height we also need to increase up to 1.45 rem. Letter spacing we also need to increase it to 0.00625 rem. So also need to remove the border, guys. So border 0, overflow hidden, position is relative. So the same properties, guys, we need to give to the model title class as well. So this is the text field that you see inside this. Here we will write the title, paste it. Now you will see that. Also we need to repeat it for the model text as well. This is model text. The same properties are there, so simply I will not write it, so simply paste it. So now you can see that this is the first one, this is second one. Now we will target this input field, which is this one. So here we will change the display property to null. So now you can see it is not shown here. We will calculate the width of using calculate method 100% minus 10 pixel. Minimum height we will say that it is 43 pixel. Margin we will say is 0.5 pixel. Padding we will say 10 pixel, 10 pixel. Font size we will say is 1 rem. Font weight we will say it's 500. Line height we will say it's 1.5 rem. Border we will once again 0. So now guys you will see that this is your field out there. So what we need to do is that we need to also remove the border whenever we hover onto this. So for removing it, we will attach a pseudo class. So form focus and also input focus. This is a pseudo class. We also need to remove the outline to none. This simply means that whenever you hover onto this focus, that outline will not be shown. Then we now have to style the placeholder text, guys, which is placeholder. And here we will simply say margin top will be 20 VH. Display we will change it to flex. Align items center. Flex direction will be column. So this is the placeholder, guys. You can see that. Then we have this form buttons. So display will say none. Text align to right position. So they will now appear at the right hand position. So now when we need to show them, basically when we click the submit button and also the form close button, we need to attach some styles to it. The submit and the close button. So here we are referencing these elements. So now to style these two buttons, guys, first of all we will change the margin to 0.2 rem 0. Box sizing we will say is border box. Color is equal to RGBA 0, 0, 0, 0.87. Overflow is hidden, and text overflow is equal to ellipsis. White space is equal to no wrap. Then we will change all these properties: letter spacing, font size, font weight, and line height. Simply paste these values. Now you can see that. Then the most important property is the height property. We will give it 36 pixel. Padding 8 pixel, 24 pixel. This is called as padding. now you can see it has some space. We will also give border radius to 4 pixel, border color to be also transparent, and it's important, and the background color will be RGB 251. So now you can see it. So now basically guys, we will target the submit button that you see, submit button. We will change the color to white, background color to this color, which is 007BFF. This is the color. This is, you can see it is a blue color. Then we will also hover onto this. If I hover onto this button, we will say submit button, hover, and also form close button, hover. We need to change the brightness of the button, brightness 95% change. So what it will see if you hover on this, you will see the brightness will increase. So now guys, you can see that. So now we simply need to add the notes class here, which is note. So basically, let me show you. Let me see if I given this class or not. Note. So first of all guys, now we need to write the JavaScript. We need to create a new note. So here we will create JavaScript code here, which is script source keep.js. Simply include this, and now you need to make a new file which is keep.js. So right here inside this file guys, what we need to do is that we need to simply write note title. If you go to keep.css, if I paste these styles here, note title, this is not, let me just delete this. So here inside your JavaScript guys, whenever you click a submit button, if you click something here, if you type something, click submit, we need to create a note. For creating this note, it's very easy. We need to write some event listener. So we will create a class called as app. In JavaScript, you can even create classes as well. So basically here we will provide this dot notes. So JSON dot parse. So here we inside this JavaScript class, we need to have a constructor first of all, and this parenthesis is not required. So inside this JavaScript class we have a constructor, and inside this constructor we will put all the values. This dot notes, it will be coming from JSON.parse localstorage.getItem and notes if it is available. Basically if it is not available, then we will initialize it to empty array. This will be an empty array if it is not available in the local storage. So then we will have the title of the note, this will be empty. Then we will have the content of the node, this dot text, this will also be empty, and this dot id of it will also be empty. And here we need to declare placeholder. So this will be document.query selector, and here we have provided the id which is placeholder. This dot form reference, we will also document.query selector form. So all these references we are getting from inside our JavaScript. We are targeting the classes and the IDs. So again, this dot notes. So this dot notes. Document.query selector. Notes. So in this way, guys, you can see I will get references to all the elements which are present: node title, node text, node but form buttons, form close button, model, model title. So in this way, this is just we are using document query selector. Simply I will paste it. So after getting references to all the elements, guys, we will now call a method which will render out all the nodes. So we will simply say this dot render, and then we will simply say this dot add event listener. Add event listeners, sorry. So now we need to both create these methods, which is add event listeners and also this render method. So we need to create the classes, sorry, methods in between the class here, like just declare it. And right here, guys, what we need to do is that inside our render method, if you see inside our render method, we will call this method which is this dot save nodes, and then we will say this dot display notes. So first of all, it is saying that first of all save your notes and then display it. So now basically we will try to look for a function which will save notes. So now we need to create this function, guys, which is save notes. So inside this function, guys, we need to set the local storage dot set item and notes. This is a variable that we are declaring here for the local storage, and then we will simply say JSON dot stringify and this dot nodes. So we are converting the array to the JSON string by using JSON.stringify. So this array value will be converted to a string by using JSON.stringify, and we are storing it inside our JSON local storage. Then we need to display these nodes, so we will simply say display nodes. So this is a scenario where you assume that already some nodes are present inside local storage, so then we are displaying it. So here we are simply create a variable has nodes. In that scenario, we will just compare it. If this dot nodes dot length is greater than 0, then we obviously know some nodes are present. So then we can simply say placeholder dot style dot display is equal to has nodes question mark none. If it is 0, if it is equal to true, then we will uh, display the form. If it is not equal to true, if something is present, then we will show the nodes. So we will say flex. Display will be equal to flex. So after this, you will simply say this dot nodes inner HTML will be equal to this dot nodes map. We will map each node. So inside each node, guys, we will have basically this is the thing that we need to do. We have a div. Simply I will paste it. So explain you what is happening. So you will now see, guys, you will this needs to be in brackets, sorry. So just surround it like this in these brackets. So this is template string, guys. So here we are dynamically embedding the nodes here. So we are providing a background node dot color, node dot ID, dynamic ID we are providing. Then we are setting the node dot title, node dot ID as well. So this is the icons that we are using, edit and delete. So we are attaching these classes, guys, which is node dot title, So basically now after this we also need to get rid of the commas which are present. So for doing this we will simply say for mapping it uh, so you don't need this. So here we will simply join it. So there is a join method. So basically in order to remove the commas like this, so we will have the join method. Sorry, this needs to be present inside the render method, guys. So that's why render method. And then after this, guys, we will now instantiate a new instance of this class, which is JavaScript class new app dash. So after this, it will execute the constructor. You will see constructor, and basically it is calling this method, which is this.render. So this method will get called, and this will further call these two methods, which is save nodes and display nodes. So inside save nodes, we will set the local storage nodes to this.nodes and then display it. Let me refresh the application. Let me see if it is happening. So now as you refresh it, guys, nothing will be present out there. We need to click on submit, nothing happens. So because no further beforehand no notes are present, so that's why it is not displaying it. So now we need to make sure when we write something inside this form and click the submit button, we need to create a new note. So let me take your questions, guys. If you have at any point of time any questions. So 9 people have hit the like button. Please hit the like button, subscribe the channel. uh, Nice seeing you full of energy here. What does ellipsis do? I don't know ellipsis, but yeah, it is used in this design. So Google Keep is a very famous kind of a clone application. It's used for uh, saving the notes. So I think it's a very good application. You should develop it inside your CV or if you're applying for a job. So Google Keep is a very good application. Now we need to target this form, guys. We need to write something inside this and click on the submit button. So what we can do is that we need to simply there is a method here which is after we display the notes here, uh, edit node, add note, open tooltip, close model, open form. Handle form event. So basically here, guys, we need to attach event listener. So whenever the form is there, whenever the submit button is clicked, we need to go to the JavaScript file, and inside this constructor only what we will say is that after we call this dot add event listeners. So inside this method we will attach the event listener to the form. So here we will simply say this dot form add event listener. So submit. So there is a submit event handler inside the form. So whenever the submit button is hit, this function will automatically execute. So this is the first we will do. So I think yeah, this dot yeah. Inside this event, guys, what we need to say is that uh, first of all we need to prevent the auto submission of the form. And then we will get the title which the user has written inside this input field, which we will simply get by using this dot node title dot value. After this we will get the content inside the note. So we will say this dot note title note text dot value. So after getting all these two values, guys, what we will simply say, we will simply say we will compare it has note title or text. If both the things are present, then only we will insert it. So we will now insert it inside the array. So title and the text, that's it. So now guys, if you see here, if I write something here, click submit, you will now see it was inserted and once again it goes away. So it is saying that cannot set properties of null setting inner HTML. What happened? This one is this.nodes.map. So refresh it. If you click submit, nothing happens. If you see the original application guys, what we are building here, basically if you click it, you have this title and the submit button. I think we have made a mistake here inside the design. So 16 people are watching the stream. Please hit the like button, subscribe the channel. So basically what I will do is that I look, I'm just made a mistake here. Let me copy paste the CSS and HTML just to make sure that we are on the same page. So all the source code is given in the description of this video, so don't even copy paste it. So this can happen if you write code live. Some errors can take place. So paste it. So now guys, you will now see let me see. 20 people are watching the stream guys. First of all, hit the like button, subscribe the channel as well. Let me write this JavaScript step by step guys. So you can now see, let me close this. If I show you this one, this fine. So there is nothing present here. You can see that this is a design here, Google Keep design, and basically it is not functional out there because we haven't written the JavaScript. So this is the interface that Google Keep offers here. Now we will write the JavaScript step by step. So how to do this process? It's very simple. Let me show you. So coming back to JavaScript guys, so here we will simply include a file which will be called as source script.js. So here we will create a new file script.js. So inside this guys we will have a class, JavaScript class. So we will call this class new app. So you can see we are calling this class. So this is a JavaScript class. JavaScript class. So here we are calling it, making an object. So now inside this class guys we will have a constructor. So these comments are also very important. So here we will say constructor. Inside this constructor, what we will have is that inside this constructor, what you see, we will have. If you see here, first of all, we will have this.nodes. So basically, this will be the array here, where we will be inserting our nodes. So JSON.parse, and here we will simply say localstorage.getItem. So we will be inserting it inside local storage. So in order to get an item from local storage, we will call localstorage.getItem. So here we will simply say nodes, and if it is empty, then we will simply say just declare it to an empty array. That's it. So after this, we will declare some variables. This dot title will be empty. This dot text will be also be empty. This dot id will also be empty. So now we will be declaring all the variables. We will get the references to it. So just copy this and paste it. So you can see all these references we are getting to we have given these classes and the IDs to it. So this is for the placeholder, this is form, notes, note title, note text, form buttons, all this stuff. So after you attach this, we will call these two methods. First for rendering, this dot render and this dot add event listeners. So now inside we'll make these two methods, which is render method and add event listeners. So inside this render method, guys, what we need to do is that we need to display, you can see that inside this render method we will call these two methods, which is save notes and display notes. So these functions here, first of all, it will store the data when we refresh. So basically it will store the data when we refresh the page. It will store this data inside local storage. So this local storage dot set item. So now to save items inside local storage, we will use this method, local storage dot set item, and then we will convert this to a JSON string. You can see that. After this, we will also display the note. For displaying it, this is a function which is required. Let me just explain to you what is happening inside this function. So this is the overall function, guys. You will see that. First of all, we are comparing if the length of this array is greater than 0. So when we load the application for the very first time, this length will be 0. So it will not be displayed. You can see it will no nodes will be present. So whenever you add some kind of nodes, this length will be greater than 0. So in that case, this display property will be equal to flex. So then we will be using the map method to loop through all the items which is present inside an array. So dynamically we will attach these classes, which is background to note color, note ID, note title, and you can see that. So after this, guys, after this method, what we need to say is that we need to write the add event listeners here when we call this. So now we need to make this method inside this add event listeners. So first event we need to attach is the add event listener. So basically inside the body. So basically we will simply say document.add event listener. When we click anywhere, so this event will be triggered. So this is document.body.add event listener. So first of all, we will call this.handle form click event. We will pass the event here like this. So this.select note and this.open modal. We will now open a modal window passing the event, and lastly we will delete note as well. So first of all, guys, what we need to say is that now we need to make this method here, which is so inside this only. This is a method, guys. You can see that handle form click. So anywhere, if you see anywhere inside the application, if we click here, we need to check. If you see here, if I refresh it, So first of all, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel as well. So let me just open with live server. So you can see already these icons are already these nodes are already present. So for this, what we need to say is that we need to open it in a completely new browser. So if I open here Firefox, so inside this browser, let me open this app. So now it will be empty. You can now see it is empty here. So now we need to detect whether we click inside this form or outside it. So if I click inside this input field, we need to populate a form. So now to do this, it's very easy. Go to this and we need to make this function, which is handle form click event. So inside this method, guys, what we will check here, we will simply check here. We will create a variable is form clicked. So basically this variable will check if the form is clicked or not. So form dot contains event dot target dot, that's it. So this will obviously check it. It will return true or false whether the form was clicked or not. Then after this, we will simply say open. So here we will simply say we will get the title this dot node click node title dot value, and also we will get the text which of the node here, and then we will compare if all the title and the text is present. So in that case we will simply say, so here we will compare in the if condition. If form is clicked, then we will open the form. This is the function we will made which will open the form. If it is not clicked, then we will add the note like this to that. Else we will close the form. So now we need to, if I need to open the form, we need to make a method here which is simply open form. So now inside this we will simply say this dot form dot class list dot add form open, and this dot node file node title style dot display. We need to display it, so we will change the display property to block, and also for this node text also style dot display to block. So now what will happen, guys, if you see, if I click inside this form, now you can see the title is showing here. You can see here both the fields are showing here, take a note, and the title is also showing. So also we need to the form is open now. We also need to, after this, if you see here, so now basically what we need to do is that after we clicked it, after we open the form here, we also need to make the close form function as well, which will simply do the opposite of that. It will remove the classes which is form open. Let me explain you, let me write this. So now to remove the classes dynamically, we will use the remove method. It will remove this class form open, and it will change these display properties from block to none. You can see that. So these title and form buttons will be not be displayed. And obviously I forgot this, guys. You can see note style. and also these form buttons. Sorry, this needs to be form buttons, not form buttons. And here we are hiding it, and then we are resetting the value of the form to null. So now let me show you what I mean here. You can see here, this is the title here. So if I click submit, nothing happens because we need to write that function which will actually save this to local storage. So you see just here, if I click uh, inside it and click the submit button, all these buttons are hidden, and also the value is resetted. So this is all happening because of this close form function. So now basically we will move to the next part, which is after this we will select the node handle form. You can see that now we need to add this. So basically in order to add this, we will make a new function, which is, if you see here, add node. This is a function we need to write. Basically this will save this node to local storage. So basically we'll simply say add node, and here we will simply say the title and the text. We will get this, and then basically we will make a new node. This will be an object. Title, it will also have the text. It will also have the default color, which would be white. You can even change the color as well. And then we will have the ID. So this dot nodes dot length, it's greater than 0. So in that case we will put this dot nodes. So this ID will be dynamically inserted, guys. You can see that. Let me paste it. So this is a ternary operator. In programming you have known this operator, question mark, need to put here. So this ID will be inserted like this. If it is the first item, then this would be equal to 1, like this. So after this, guys, we need to simply add this to the array. So we will simply say this.nodes. Now to add this, we put 3 dots, this.nodes, and the actual new node object, like this. So this will add this to the array here, guys. And now we need to show this. We need to display that newly added node on the screen. So now to do that, we will make this, call this render method once again, and then we need to again close the form. So we will say this dot close form. So render method, guys, you can see we have already made that method, basically render. This will call this, it will save it inside local storage. You can see that it will call this method. After this, it will display this using this map method. You can see that. So all these methods are interrelated. So if I now refresh it, click submit, let me see, inspect element, go to console. If you close this, nothing happens. Submit. So it is saying that this dot select node is not a function. Let me see where it is happening. This dot select node, where I have written, let me do this, select node. Sorry, let me remove this for now. So why it is not showing it? Why it is not showing it? I don't know. Handle form event is there, so it is calling open form. When open form is there, open form, handle forms. Now let me see guys, open form is clicked here. You can see that open form is clicked. So these are not a lot of methods out there, so it's very much confusion out there. So if the form is clicked, we open the form. So we go to this function where we add this node. So we add this node here. So you can see that we add this node, this newly created node here, and render out and closes the form. Populate the modal with title and text from selected node. Delete node, render, save nodes. I think guys it's a lot of JavaScript, so let me break it down. Let me copy this all. I'm just confused with a lot of methods out there, the calling of methods. Let me explain you what is happening. This is now will be working. Let me refresh it. So this dot display nodes is not a function. So I have given the source code guys, simply you need to copy paste it. Hopefully this time this will work. You can see now it is added. So this we need to save. We need to save it. Click submit. So whenever it is clicked submit guys, you can see there is two icons. You can also change the background color as well. So here we need to simply say what happens here when we basically click this. So inside the form, add event listener, click handle form event. Event listener to clear the form when submitted. So basically this is the method guys which is written here. If you see here, if I uncomment this line, so now if you see here, if I write something here, if I click close button, modal window, yeah, this is the, if you click close here, nothing happens because this is binding here. So whenever you created a note here, if you want to edit this, if you click want to close it, nothing happens. So this is interrelated. So now to use this, we will use, sorry, this dot modal close button dot add event listener click. So this will call this method close modal. So this will edit the node first of all, and then it will toggle this class which is open modal. So if you have any doubt related to this application, you can ask in the comment section guys. Can this be applied in Angular too? Yeah, obviously you can develop it inside React.js, Angular, Vue.js. Totally depends upon you how you need to do this. So please hit the like button guys, subscribe the channel as well. So if you see here, add event listener, submit event handler. When we click this close model window, when we handle form event, we checked here, get the value, open the form. So when we open this, you will close the model when close button is clicked. So please hit the like button guys, subscribe the channel as well. I'm just seeing that people are not liking the content. Only 21 likes are there. The like target is 50 likes, so please hit the like button, subscribe the channel as well. See that guys, the views are increasing fastly here. Basically this video that I am just recording here, which is going live here, it is all the views are coming from either browse feature or suggested videos. So YouTube is recommended this live stream. So you can see that 94% coming from the browse feature. So it's insane number of views, and basically uh, YouTube is recommending my content. So live streaming is a good option when you can do it on a daily basis. So if you're watching it, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel as well. Yeah, React is definitely, I know React is not a framework, it's a library. So I just ask here, framework or library means the same thing, but yeah, React is a lightweight framework, or you can say library. So for editing the node guys, you can see we are getting the existing value of the node, and then we are getting the existing value of the text here, and then we are using the map method. Basically here we are comparing the ID. We need to convert the ID from string to a number, so that's why we are using this number method, and after that we are rendering out. If you want to edit the node color, this is a method. Again we are using the map method, and then basically we are just updating the color value, whichever color that you select. You can see whichever color that you select here. So, and for the deletion process guys, in the fourth operation we are just getting the ID of whichever node that you want to delete. So whenever you press this dustbin icon, whenever you press it, it is removed due to this function. So we are filtering out, we are using the filter method inside JavaScript. Basically it removes the element which got this ID, which is node.id. We convert this to a number and simply we render it. So filter method, if you search it on the documentation, basically it removes the element from an array which got some kind of an ID. So we are using this method, which is filter, to make sure to delete the node. Render, basically it first of all saves the node to the local storage, and then it will display it. So for saving it to the local storage we are using set item, and for displaying it you can see we are checking for, first of all, if the length is greater than 0, then we are using the map method to display each node in a flex manner. You can see display flex is equal to only 3 items will be displayed per row. So for adding it we are using this syntax here, dot dot dot, and then rendering it and closing the form. So this is the overall application guys. Google Keep CRUD nodes clone kind of an application in HTML and JavaScript. Hello friends, today you can see that we have built using HTML, CSS, we have built Google Keep clone kind application. So Google Keep, as you know, if you have joined it late inside this stream, let me just elaborate you what we have built. So if you go to keep.google.com, this is the website that we have developed in this live stream. So you can just perform 4 operations. You can also delete this. You can create a note like this. All these options are available. So this is the application that we have developed here. You can also view it inside a modal window, and also you can also edit this like this and perform these 4 operations. So please hit the like button, subscribe the channel, and if you have any sort of doubt related to, so there is no sound. Sound is coming, so why you are not saying much? Sound is coming. So please hit the like button, subscribe the channel. So this is a programming channel, so I upload daily live streams related to different frameworks, different languages. So you just need to hit the like button, subscribe the channel. There is a red subscribe button which is there, so you need to hit that red subscribe button. So if you have questions, you can ask in the comment section. I will definitely reply to those questions. So this is my coding section. You can see this is the website. Yeah, it's working now. The sound is coming. So why you are saying that sound is not coming? So this is the real-time analytics of the website. You can see that it is daily increasing. So it's a programming blog that I have here. And if you like this content, then please hit the like button, subscribe the channel. I see many people haven't subscribed it. So everyone who is watching it, please hit the red subscribe button so that you will receive the notification whenever I go live or upload a video. So also I have Izoic blog. If you want to see the notifications, sorry, Izoic blog. So this is the Izoic blog. If I show you the revenue of Izoic, how much I earned here. Izoic is a great ad network similar to AdSense. It provides advertisements on your blog, software apps. Please, Ayush, please subscribe this channel. And also, it's a very good channel for developers. So you can see this is the revenue that I earned here from my website. It is quite low. I think it's the end of the quarter. That's why you will see these low numbers. It can reach up to 25 as well. But you can see 15, 15, 16, 17. It's way lower. But still some of the earnings are there. You can see that. And in the YouTube analytics as well, if I show you, this is the YouTube analytics. So 93% coming from browse features. You will see that. Browse features is simply, guys, whenever you go to YouTube, the recommendation which is coming through YouTube, that's is called as browse feature. So if you want to increase this browse feature, one thing is for certain, you need to upload daily, multiple times. Let's suppose 4 to 5 times you are uploading. So this chances YouTube will viral your video through browse feature will definitely increase because you're continuously uploading content, continuously going live. So YouTube will have no option to viral your stream to more and more different people. So they will subscribe your channel, like the content as well. So this will significantly increase chances of your channel increasing in upward direction. So you can see in the past 7 days my videos have gone viral. Each stream is have at least 1000 views at least. If I show you the last 7 streams that I have done, you can see 1000, 1000, 1000, 1000, 1000. So many streams have reached here 1000, 1000, 1000. So due to this bulk views that I have done suddenly, the channel has also grown at a rapid pace. You will see the estimated revenue has also increased. Subscribers have also increased. You can see that 533 to 709. How much do you make with YouTube? You can see on your screen, I am showing you this last month, which is from August 1 to August 31. So this is around about $509. You can see that. Subscribers, you will see 709. Watch time hours 7.8. So if you like this content, I will show you all the proof. Please subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. Give me some suggestion, Ayush. If you are saying that you need to have any project, give me some suggestion so, so that I can make that project.